Hi there and welcome back to my channel. It's Carol here and today is meal prep day. I'm going to show you what I make for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 days. I'm cooking for clients, but I will make some extra for myself, so it's very important to start with a clean and sanitary space. And the first thing I need to do is some dishes. I'll show you. I had 4 teenagers spend the night here last night, so I have a pile of dishes to do. I'm going to get that going. I've got some coffee on and I'll share my menu with you in just a minute. Okay, kitchen is clean. I'm ready to get started. First thing I want to do is make my grains. Yesterday I made lentil soup, so that is done. And I also made carrot muffins. I'll show you the carrot muffins I made. I made these with whole wheat flour. I posted the basic muffin recipe I used a couple videos back. It has applesauce and whole wheat flour, and they're really healthy and clean. And they taste amazing and they're super moist and delicious. So I just added carrots, a little bit of grated ginger, cinnamon to those, and those are going to be so good for a snack. I like to provide a high protein, high fiber snack to have throughout the day, along with the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I have 2 different options for both meals for my clients. So I'm going to share the menu with you that I'm making this week. For breakfast, we're having breakfast burritos, and those are going to have a tofu scramble in them, and some black beans and hash browns and baby spinach and peppers and onions. And those are going to be really good for a breakfast option. The other breakfast option is overnight oats, and those are going to have chia seeds and blueberries and bananas, along with the oats and protein powder and soy milk. And then for lunch, we're having Mediterranean quinoa bowl, and those are going to have some artichokes and olives and peppers and chickpeas. And then we're having a spring roll bowl. That's going to have some rice and edamame and all kinds of veggies in there with that. And then for dinner, we're having the lentil soup is one option, and the other one is noodle stir fry. This is going to have whole wheat spaghetti and lots of veggies and tofu and stir fried in like a teriyaki sauce. So let's get started. First thing I need to do is make my grains. I have 2 big pots. One is for quinoa and one is for rice. I'm gonna get the rice started first because that takes the longest. And then my other pot is full of lentil soup. So I need to portion that out for the meals and wash that pot so I can get the quinoa going. I'm using jasmine rice. It's my favorite and my clients love it. And I don't have a rice cooker. I just cook it on the stove the old-fashioned way. Double the amount of water as I do rice, and it comes out perfect every time. Bring it to a boil and simmer it for like 10 minutes and it's perfect. Right when the water's almost evaporated, I take it off the stove and just let it sit covered, and it fluffs up nicely and turns out perfect every time. So I'm gonna get the rice going, and then I'm gonna portion out the soup, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, this lentil soup is the best. It's full of carrots, celery, onions, some bay leaves, rosemary. I love lentils because they're so high in protein and fiber. They keep you full and satisfied. They cook quickly, they're inexpensive, they're just like the perfect food. Okay, the pot is clean. I've got the quinoa in there. Same thing, twice as much water as quinoa. And I like to put a tablespoon of this salt, pepper, and garlic blend in there just to give it some extra flavor. Just kind of stir it around. And same cooking method. Cover it, bring it to a boil, and then reduce the heat to simmer once it's boiling. My rice is almost done. Yeah, see, once the water, ooh, can you see? It's super steamy. Ooh. Once the water is almost evaporated, I just make sure it's not stuck on the bottom. Cover it and take it off the heat. Of course, it boiled over. Okay, quinoa is almost done. I have the tofu draining, and I'm gonna start on the overnight oats. So I have a half a cup of oats in each of these containers. And I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Of course, my neighbor's using power tools. These just make it nice and thick, and they add a lot of omega-3s and protein and, of course, fiber. I'm gonna add a half a scoop of vanilla protein powder. This is optional, but it adds a nice sweetness to it. And of course, extra protein. and some cinnamon. And then I add just enough soy milk to cover the top. You don't want it too thick. And then just give them a stir, make sure all the chia seeds are evenly distributed. And this liquid will get absorbed pretty quickly. These look great. These are ready for the fruit topping. These are looking so good. I just put some sliced blueberries and bananas on top, and now I'm gonna sprinkle some hemp hearts on top, just for some extra crunch and flavor, and these are going to provide extra protein and omegas. Okay, oats are done, and we're on to our next dish. Okay, I've got my quinoa bowls all assembled. This is 2/3 of a cup of quinoa and some spring mix, cucumbers, roasted beets, and yellow peppers, and those are all ready to go. They look so delicious, but they need a little dressing to go on top, so let's make that now. Okay, sorry about the noise from the neighbors. I forgot to say there's chickpeas in those Mediterranean bowls as well. So let's make a dressing to go on top. I have 1.5 russet potatoes that I steamed. I'm just gonna put those in the blender. I'm also gonna add some cashews, maybe like half a cup. That makes it nice and creamy. And some garlic salt, some onion powder, a teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm gonna add parsley and basil to this today, just to give it a nice herby flavor. This is white wine vinegar, just like 2 tablespoons. And I'm gonna add water to this and get it blended. Okay, I added about 2 tablespoons more vinegar. That is so good, like a creamy Italian dressing. All right, my water is boiling away. I'm gonna put the pasta in. I'm using whole wheat spaghetti today because it holds up really well in meal prep. Okay, dressing is in the cups. Of course, I made a mess, and I'm just gonna put those in the bowls. And these are ready to go. These are gonna be so good. Okay, my pasta is done, and now I am stir frying some onions and carrots just in a little splash of water, and they're starting to soften a little bit. So it's time to add the peppers and mushrooms. So I've got these over here. I'm gonna add these to the pan, and then I'm gonna work on my sauce. I'm using toasted sesame oil, a little bit of brown sugar, and some soy sauce. And I'm gonna add a little bit of cornstarch to that, and it's gonna make a nice thick and rich sauce for our stir fry. Okay, I thought I was filming that. I was not. I added the sauce with the cornstarch, so I'm just gonna simmer it for a minute until it gets nice and thick. It's already starting to thicken up. And then I'm gonna add the baby spinach, and we'll be ready for the noodles. Smells amazing. Okay, I just tossed the spinach in until it's just wilted. And now it's time to add this to our pasta. I might need 2 hands for this. Ooh, but look how delicious that looks. All right, woo, steam bath. Okay, I'm just gonna toss this together and get it plated up. Okay, here is the completed stir fry. It looks so delicious. And there was none left over for me, but that's okay. These are nice big portions, so I'm happy about that. On to our next dish. I almost forgot sesame seeds. This makes everything just taste a little better and look pretty. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, one of our last dishes to make is breakfast burritos. I'm going to be just crumbling the tofu in the pan like this. I kind of need 2 hands for this, but I like to leave a few big chunks just so that it's easier to eat in a burrito, but not super huge. Just crumbling it in the pan, and then I'll add my spices. Okay, I'm going to show you how I make my tofu scramble. Super easy. I have some black salt. It's also known as kala namak. And I put about half a teaspoon of that on there. It just gives it kind of an eggy flavor. A little bit of turmeric. You don't want to put too much because the You just kind of want it for the color. Nutritional yeast, just a sprinkle, onion powder, garlic powder, and that's it. And just stir it all together to combine the spices. It starts to turn a little bit yellow. Looks a lot like scrambled eggs, but tastes way better. And this is going to be so good in those burritos. Okay, our rice bowls are ready, and now I'm going to make a quick peanut sauce to go on top of those. I have a half a cup of natural peanut butter and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce in there. You can use tamari also. 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And I have a clove of garlic here. And I'm going to put some fresh ginger in there too, just about a teaspoon. I have the fine grater here. And I just grate it like that from the fridge. And I'm going to add some water to this, and this is going to be our peanut sauce. Okay, the rice bowls are done. I finished them with some air-fried tofu, some crushed peanuts, and green onions, and these look amazing. They're ready to go. These are the breakfast burritos filled with that tofu scramble, some refried beans, rice, and peppers and onions and potatoes and baby spinach. Okay, the food is all packed up and ready to go, ready for my clients to come and pick up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got some inspiration from today's video and that you try meal prepping on your own. It really is worth a little bit of time in the morning or on the weekend to prep your meals for the week and set yourself up for success. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.